Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. حي الصلاة حي الصلاة حي الفلاح حي الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد إن أصدق حديث كتاب الله عز وجل وأحسن حدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم والشر أمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة في الإسلام بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. نسأل الله العافية. All praise is due to Allah Azza wa Jal. We praise Him and we extol Him and we seek refuge in Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala from evil within ourselves and evil results of our wrong actions. Whomsoever Allah guides can never be left astray in misguidance. And whomsoever Allah allows to be left astray, and there is no guide for that individual. Verily the most fruitful of speech is the book of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, the Quran al-Kareem. And the finest guidance of the book of Allah is that of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the most evil of affairs are the newly invented ones, bid'ah. Every bid'ah is a going astray, and every going astray leads to the hellfire. O you who believe, ittaqullah, have the consciousness of Allah, and always speak a word that is directed towards the truth. As a result, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, He will forgive us of our sins, and He will rectify our actions. And whosoever obeys Allah and His Messenger has indeed achieved a great firm handhold. Amma ba'd, as what follows, today, my dear brothers Islam, Iman, I would like us to pay special attention to our reminder today, inshallah, because we'll be speaking about one of the most destructive diseases of the human heart. And this disease is so severe that it can infect anyone, no matter how knowledgeable that we deem ourselves to be. Anyone can be infected by this harmful disease. And this disease of the human heart is so severe that it can cause a person to be dragged on their face and thrown into the hellfire. That's al-afiyah. So, this disease of the heart is so severe that the Prophet ﷺ, while addressing his companions, said that the thing that I fear the most for you all is shirk al-asghar, is the lesser form of shirk. And the companions, they asked the Prophet ﷺ, what is this lesser form of shirk? The Prophet ﷺ, he described it as Ar-riyaa, showing off in good deeds. In another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ explicitly speaking about riya by saying that it is so hidden that it can creep into the hearts of any one of us like a small ant on the black rock in the middle of the night. Riya, showing off of our good deeds, is so hidden that it can creep into the hearts of any one of us like a black ant in the middle of the night on top of a black rock. So this is so dangerous, my dear Salam and Iman, that riya, showing off of our deeds that are supposed to be for Allah Ta'ala, can creep into our hearts, that we're doing things and saying things that are in line with the Quran and Sunnah, but we are doing it for name or fame or to show off for other people. And when we say this, a lot of Muslims, we become confused in regards to riya as kiber. Kiber is one thing, and riya is something totally different. Because the Prophet ﷺ, which was his style of teaching, he asked his companions, do you know what is kiber? What is kiber? The companions, he said, Allah wa Rasuluhu alam. Allah and his messenger know best. The Prophet ﷺ, he explained to his companions that kiber is rejecting the truth and looking down upon people. The companions, they said that everybody likes to have nice clothes. Everybody likes to have nice shoes. The Prophet ﷺ said, Inna Allah jameel yuhibbu jamal. That Allah is beautiful, He is gracious, He is charming, and He likes to see the beauty on His creations. He said that kibr is rejecting the truth and looking down upon people. So, as Muslims, we must know that if we want Allah Ta'ala to accept our a'mal salihah, our good deeds, we have to always keep this in our mind, that we cannot associate anything in that form of worship. Because we know, innama al-a'malu biniyat, as occurs in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, that verily our actions are based on our intentions. So one of the best ways for us to rid ourselves of this sickness of riya, showing off, is for us to rectify and purify our intentions as to why we're doing what we're doing and how we're doing what we're doing. What are the ways in which we are doing our good deeds and how we are doing them. We have to always check our intentions. And this was one of the most difficult things of the Salaf and As-Salih, was to keep their intentions intact. To know that what they are doing was for not name and fame, was not for show off or to gain popularity, but is for Allah Ta'ala. We all know that shirk is the only thing which Allah Azza wa Jal will never forgive. As He says in His book, Inna Allah la yaghfir an yushraka bih wa yaghfir ma duna dhalik liman yasha. Sadaqallah. Allah Azza wa Jal, He says that He will not forgive anyone who associates partners with Him, but He will forgive anything which is less than that to whomsoever He wishes. And we have to know that if we associate partners with Allah in our amal salih, our good deeds, then our good deeds will be rendered null and void. So we cannot mix up the two. Riya, showing off, is not the same as kiber, being proudful and boastful. It's nice, and it's from the sunnah to wear good clothes and to smell good and to have good shoes. This is something that Allah loves to see. As occurs in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where the Prophet said, when he seen a man walking, he called the man to himself and he said to this man, do you not have any nice clothes? He's seen the man looking shabby. He asked him, do you not have any forms of wealth? The man responded by saying, yes, Allah has blessed him with all forms of wealth. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Inna Allah yuhibbu an ara athara ni'matu ala abdihi. That Allah loves to see the signs of His blessings on His slaves. So it is not showing off to wear nice clothes. This is a blessing of Allah Ta'ala. But what we're talking about is riyaa, showing off of our good deeds. For example, any of us know that, or most of us know that, spending in charity, nafaqat, giving money away for the sake of Allah is one of the best deeds that we can do. But this noble characteristic of spending fi sabilillah can be null and void if we're doing it so as to gain name or fame or popularity or to be seen of man. We all need to have this reminder from time to time. It doesn't matter how old we are, how strong we are, or how intelligent, or how long we've been practicing the deen, or praying, or practicing the sunnah. We deem ourselves to be very knowledgeable in the deen. This disease of kiber can creep into our hearts. This disease of riyaa can creep into our hearts. And we must not confuse the two. What we're speaking about today specifically is ar-riyaa, showing off of our good deeds. Showing off of our good deeds can render our good deeds null and void. We can do so many things, but if we're going to donate, let us do it secretly, so that our left hand does not know what our right hand has given. With this said, my dear Salam Iman, what is the best way for us to rid ourselves of this disease? There are many, many ways that we can rid ourselves of this disease of ar-riyaa. But one of the best ways for us to purify ourselves of this disease of riyaa, of showing off, is for us to check our intentions. It's for us to always check ourselves. Be in constant reminding ourselves constantly as why we're doing this and how we're doing this. We have to constantly remind ourselves and look at ourselves, because if we're doing things to be seen or heard of people or to gain praise from people, then we have to know that that deed is null and void. As Allah says, الَّذِينَ يَخْشَوْنَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَيْبِ, that those people who have that khashiyah, that consciousness, that fear of Allah in secrecy. And it's also the well-known hadith in Sahih Bukhari, who said, a part of the hadith, that sabba yadhillallah tahta dhilli la dhil illa dhillu. But there will be 7 categories of people who Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala will shade on the day when there will be no shade except His shade. And of those 7 people is a person who gave in charity so secretly with his right hand that his left hand was unaware of it. Allahu Akbar. How many of us, when we're called on to spend and give fi sabilillah, we are checking which form of currency can we give? When are we going to do things freely for the sake of Allah, without even second guessing or checking ourselves? Giving for the sake of Allah in such a way that we don't know what we have given for the sake of Allah, that our left hand is unaware of what we have given for the sake of Allah. And secondly, the Prophet ﷺ speaks about a man who was in secrecy, crying, remembering Allah to the point that his eyes start to well up and shed tears. Allahu Akbar. Also, we know that if we perform acts of righteousness and piety for the sake of Allah, for somebody other than Allah, then they will be rendered null and void, as the Prophet ﷺ. Man amal amalan ashraka bi ghairi taraktuhu wa shirka. Who does deeds while associating others in those good deeds with me, I have left those deeds for that person that he has associated with me. Allah Azza wa Jalla will reject our deeds because we're doing them for showing of other people what we're doing. We're doing them so as to gain popularity. We're doing them so as people can pat us on the back and say how proud they are of what we are doing. So this hadith, and there are many hadith, which show and point out the severity of doing deeds that are supposed to be exclusively for Allah Ta'ala, but to also gain name and fame and to be praised for our good deeds. On the Day of Judgment, we all know the hadith of the people who will be held accountable first from this ummah of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The person who anfaq malan kathiran, the person who spent a lot of money, the person yujahid, he fought in the sake of Allah till he was killed. He fought for the sake of Allah till he was killed. And the qari, the person who memorized the Quran, and they all said they did these best deeds, fika ya Rab. They said they did these things for the sake of Allah. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, kadhabt. You have lied. You only learned the knowledge. You learned the Quran so people can call you knowledgeable. You only fought and got killed so you can bring honor to your tribe or to your community. And so on and so forth. And it will be said to these people, take them by their feet and drag them and throw them into the hellfire. So my dear Salam Iman, the first thing that we all must be concerned about in regards to ridding ourselves of this disease of riya, showing off, is our ikhlas, our intentions. What is the meaning of ikhlas? Khalas al-asal, that we purified the honey. We took out the honey. We took it out and we purified it and we cleansed it of all the dirt and impurities that are in it. And what we present to Allah is the best that we can. And we do it in a way that we don't want anybody to see. Why? Because we don't want to gain popularity in this life. We want to gain popularity in the next life with Allah Ta'ala. We all need to keep this in mind. And we all need to keep a close watch over our intentions. And this is the hardest struggle for any one of us, regardless of our age or our status or our level of knowledge. This thing called riya can creep into the heart of any one of us. So my dear Salam and Iman, we have to keep these things as hidden as we possibly can. Because if we can hide our intentions from the people, we have to know for a surety that they'll never be hidden from Allah Ta'ala. Allah Azza wa Jal, He is fully aware of why we're doing what we're doing and how we're doing what we're doing. Allah Azza wa Jal says, أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ إِذَا بُحْثِرَ مَا فِي الْقُبُورِ وَحُسِّلَ مَا فِي الصُّدُورِ إِنَّ رَبَّهُمْ بِهِمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ لَخَبِيرٌ. Do you not know that Allah Azza wa Jal will bring forth what is in the graves, that has been buried in the graves, being bones and dust and mixed with the soil? Allah Azza wa Jal will bring that forth. And that what we have hidden in our breasts, in our chests from the people. The people, they're unaware of our secret hidden agendas behind what we're doing. But Allah Azza wa Jal, He will bring all of those things forth. As Ibn Abbas has stated regarding this ayah, that what is inside the souls will become exposed and made apparent. And Allah Azza wa Jal, He will compensate. He will compensate people accordingly on that day. We don't do things in this life to get a pat on the back or to be praised or to be thanked or to be appreciated for what we do. We do things fi sabilillah. We have to always keep this in mind. And we have to keep in mind also the well-known hadith and the story of Umar ibn Khattab anhum, that he said that the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِنِيَّاتٍ وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ أَمْرٍ مَا نَوَاتٍ. That verily, all of our actions are based and founded on our what? Intentions. Innama. With tawqeed. For sure, we have to understand that everything that we do is founded in this base. Its foundation is our intention. If we give $100,000, $10,000, $1 million for the sake of Allah, but it's for gaining popularity, then it is of no use. Like dust in the wind. In the malikuli amrin manawat. And everything that we do is based and founded on our intention. The Prophet ﷺ, he goes on to say, وَمَنْ كَانَ هِجْرَاتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ فَهِجْرَاتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَمَنْ كَانَ هِجْرَاتُهُ لِلدُّنْيَا يصيبها أو امرأة ينكحوها فهجرات إلى ما هاجر إليه أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. Who's ever made a hijrah, whoever left something and went for the sake of Allah, for this dunya, to acquire things of this worldly life, then that's what they're going to get. Who's ever made a hijrah, went out in the path of Allah, and they have an intention inside of themselves so they can marry some woman, then their hijrah is for the sake of what they're making hijrah for. So my dear Salam Iman, this thing can creep into the heart of any one of us. We have to be aware of that. We should not be fooled by what is outside. We should not be fooled by what is seen by our eyes. We have to always know that whatever Allah will reward, He will give the reward for. هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان. Is there any reward for good except good? We cannot judge the apparent. We leave the apparent to Allah Ta'ala. We have to understand this, my dear Salam Iman. When we can get a firm grasp of this understanding, then bi'idhnillah Ta'ala, we have understood Allah. Hal jaza al-ihsan illa al-ihsan. That is there any other reward for good other than good? So may Allah Azza wa Jal make all of us to grasp this understanding and implement this understanding of doing good for the sake of Allah Ta'ala. Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi man tabi'ahu huda wa ba'd. So my dear Salam Iman, we must know and understand that if we want to gain the ridwan of Allah, we have to always check our intentions. Because this thing, this illness is prevalent everywhere. This is an illness that can infect anyone without them knowing that they're infected by this disease of showing off. Ar-riyaa is a very serious disease. And it's a disease that can render all of our good deeds null and void in this life. As a result, in the next life, it can cause a person to be dragged on their faces and thrown into the hellfire. Ar-riyaa, showing off, is something which creeps into our hearts and it makes us feel the need to be appreciated for what we are doing or what we have done. If we do that, if we do this by reminding people of what we have done, or we're hoping by doing our good deeds that we'll be praised or we'll be appreciated for what we have done, then we have just rendered our deeds null and void. This is why Allah Azza wa Jal, He has said in the surah called Al-Ma'un, small kindness, Alladhina hum yura'un, regarding those people who pray and they do the best of good deeds only so as to be seen and appreciated by their fellow man. We have to know that whatever we do, we have to do it mukhlasin, with sincerity. When we do that thing, if we have a lot, we do a lot. We give a lot. We try and do more. If we do not have as much, if we're not as strong, then we do whatever we can do according to our level of ability and capability. La yukallifu Allahu nafsan illa wasaha. Allah Azza wa Jal does not place a burden on a soul more than they can bear. We have to keep these things in mind. As Allah Azza wa Jal says, فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا. Whosoever hopes and aspires for working towards meeting with Allah and the last day, then let us do good deeds. Let us do good works. And let us not associate anything in our good deeds and our good works and our good efforts. So we need to be vigilant on our hearts. We need to be very, very vigilant and keep a close watch over our hearts. And always check ourselves as to what is our aims. What is our aspirations? Why are we doing what we're doing? How are we doing it? Is it in accordance with the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ? It could be the best of deeds in accordance of the best of the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. But if we're doing it so as to gain popularity, if we're doing it to show the people how good a practicing Muslim I am, how proper and correct a Muslim I am over you, then that is null and void. None of us can judge a person's actions. None of us can look inside anyone's heart and judge their intentions. We are the ones who have to judge ourselves and look at ourselves and ask ourselves from time to time, how are we feeling about what we're doing? When we're doing something in secrecy, do we feel the same when we're in front of the people? When we're doing good deeds, when we're with people, it's very easy to do things collectively, but it's difficult to do things alone. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, the best salah, the best prayer after the Khams salawat is the prayer that you pray at home in your house. How many of us take the time to wake up and to pray at night or to pray in our house, to pray in our houses? The Prophet ﷺ said, don't make your houses like a graveyard. Pray some of your salah in your homes. It's easy for us to pray collectively, but it's difficult for us to pray alone when nobody else is watching. When nobody else is watching. So we have to know that if we can feel the same sense of accomplishment when we're alone in our homes and praying, then inshallah we can say we're coming closer to ridding our hearts of this disease of riyaa, showing off. So let us end off with a very well-known dua. It's been found in hadith and the authority of Abu Bakr Siddiq anhu. When the Prophet ﷺ mentioned this hadith, that I fear the most, this thing called Ar-riyaa in my ummah. This is the thing that I fear the most from my ummah. Abu Bakr Siddiq, he asked the Prophet ﷺ, how can I be saved from this? Allahu Akbar. The Prophet ﷺ, while addressing his ashab, his companions, he said, the thing that I fear the most for you all is a shirk al-asghar, the small form of shirk, the lesser form of shirk. And he ﷺ explained that this type of shirk is so hidden that it's like a small ant in the middle of the night on a black rock in the night when there's no moon. It can creep into our hearts. When Abu Bakr Siddiq heard this from the Prophet ﷺ, he asked the Prophet ﷺ, how can I be saved from this? Then the Prophet ﷺ, he asked him, shall I not teach you a dua, a supplication, that if you recite this dua, then you will be saved from the minor and the major shirk? Abu Bakr said, Bala ya Rasulullah. Abu Bakr Siddiq, he said, of course, ya Rasulullah. Then the Prophet ﷺ, he taught him this dua that we should all learn. And this dua we can find in Husn Muslim. We have the small pocket dua books. He said, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika an ushrika bika wa ana allamu. Oh Allah, I seek refuge in you that I commit shirk knowingly. Wa astaghfiruka lima la a'lamu. And I seek refuge in you, or I ask your pardon for those things that I have committed unknowingly. This is a dua that we can learn. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika an ushrika bika wa ana allamu. Wa astaghfiruka lima la a'lamu. Remember, my dear Salam Iman, that shirk, it does not mean only that we worship an idol or we have a statue in front of us. This is not the only type of shirk. There's shirk, this is the shirk al-akbar, that a person worships a timthal, an idol, a statue, a picture. This is the highest and largest form of shirk. But shirk can also occur in our speech and in our actions and in our intentions. We have to be careful that this form of shirk does not creep into our hearts. So may Allah Azza wa Jal help all of us to purify our hearts from ar-riyaa, showing off of our good deeds. May Allah Azza wa Jal guide us to do those deeds that are pleasing to Him, that are according to the Quran and authentic Sunnah. May Allah Azza wa Jal give us that strength to do good deeds hidden in such a way that our left hand is not aware that our right hand has done. Fi sabilillah. Ameen, ameen, ameen. Inna Allah wa malaikatu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya alladhina amanu صلوا على المسلمين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنه وقنا عذاب النار واقم الصلاه